Okay, today we are going to do a quick gift guide, but this is going to be a DIY version of that. These are all gifts that I have asked for in the past and have used regularly. So if you're already into DIY or you're trying to get into it, or if you're buying for somebody else, these are the things that I would suggest starting with. First thing is going to be some sort of tool bag to contain the chaos. And we are going to start digging into each of the individual things in here that I would suggest starting with. So first things first, you can get an entire set of screwdrivers at your hardware stores, oftentimes around the middle of summer and around Christmas time. You have a lot of really good deals and you can get a ton of these that has the flathead or the Phillips. So screwdrivers, number one. Hammer. Everyone's going to need one of these, right? I mean, hopefully you already have one of these, but a hammer is essential. You're going to need a tape measure. So I have this one that I use the majority of the time, and then I also have one that rolls out really far if I'm doing stuff outside and doing outdoor yard projects. So measuring tape, that's also important. A stud finder. You're definitely going to need a stud finder if you're going to ever be hanging anything on your walls, because then you know whether you need a drywall anchor or if you're going directly into the stud. Safety goggles. Okay, protect those eyeballs, folks. I am the first person that has had eye issues, so protect them. Anytime you're cutting wood or, I don't know, all sorts of stuff, just protect those eyeballs, okay? Okay, one of these. I love this thing because it helps me make sure I'm doing things in a 90-degree angle. If I'm cutting something, I will trace it. I'm doing my LVP floors right now, and this thing is a lifesaver. So I have loved this. And while we're on that track, one of these long levels as well. Anytime you're going to be doing any type of project in your house, you're going to want to make sure something's perfectly level. I love this thing. I use it all the time. It wouldn't be bad to have wrenches, although I don't really use these a lot, but they do come up from time to time that I need these, especially these ones that have this end. Then you're going to want some pliers. I really like the needle nose pliers. Sometimes you need those to snap things, grab different things. I don't know, all sorts of stuff. So pliers, that's another good start. Okay, next up, when you start buying tools, decide on a brand and stick to that brand. And a lot of men make fun of Ryobi. That's fine, because I'm not an actual construction worker. I just need them to get the job done. So a lot of your men are going to be using Milwaukee and DeWalt and all of those. They're heavier and they are a little bit more heavy duty. For me, just doing stuff around my house, I love Ryobi because they are a little bit cheaper, and the batteries go off of any of the tools and hook on to any of the other ones. So the most important thing to start with would be a drill and then an impact driver. If you're going to hang anything in your house, you're going to want your drill with all of your drill bits, and then your impact driver can help drive anything into wood products or anything that you need. I also love this. They have all of the different drill sets with it. And then I would recommend getting a battery charger, because as you're working on projects, like specifically when I was building my outdoor furniture this year, I was using drills and impact drivers and saws and all sorts of things constantly. So you just plop your battery in there and you can be charging one while you're using other ones. And I actually have started using the leaf blower as well. And I think a trimmer I also use, and they're all just battery operated. The awesome thing with the Ryobi products is a lot of times you can find them on sale with a whole bunch of tools together. That's where I ended up getting some of these tools that I use all the time that I might not have bought otherwise. So my next suggestion would be the multi-oscillating tool. This thing is awesome. Right here, it can replace this little thing into a whole variety of tools, which is why it's called the multi-tool. And I just bought this because this edge is super dull and I'm working on my flooring. And it just has a million different connections and things. You can sand, you can cut stuff, you can do anything with that tool. So that is really useful anytime you're doing any DIY projects. Next thing I would suggest is a brad nailer. And this thing is a little bit heavier, it's a little bit bigger, but anytime I'm doing any type of trim project, like if I'm taking baseboards off the wall and having to put them back on, when I did my stairs, when I do any of my accent walls, this thing is crucial. So I love the brad nailer. And then the last tool that I would mention here of the Ryobi products, just as basics, is a sander. And once again, these batteries just pop into there. I have used this a ton. Obviously, it's disgusting. And you just buy the different roughness of sanders that you need, and you're good to go with your project. Okay, and then the third and final tool I would suggest, but I am not going to pack it upstairs, is my miter saw. And I'm going to put a picture here. I use this thing all of the time. I first bought it so that I could do the trim projects when I was doing accent walls because it cuts at a 45-degree angle. But now anytime I do anything with a wood project, I use my miter saw and I feel super safe using it. So that is another thing that I would definitely suggest getting if you are interested in DIY. I hope this has been helpful. I am going to link the majority of these products in my Amazon storefront below, but you can always find them just at your local hardware store. Thanks.